Mining giant Barrick Gold has now released its fourth quarter results and its outlook. We're going to break down the numbers now and talk about the company's plan for the future with its president and CEO, Mark Bristow. Mark Bristow, thank you very much for joining us. Let's begin with the dividend increase. It's notable that Barrick has increased its dividend, I believe, for the third time in 12 months and for the second time in consecutive quarters. What's the thinking of the board of directors here when it hikes the dividend so rapidly?
Well, when you look at, when we set out to combine the two companies, of course, Randgold had a very profitable base. It had no debt. Barrick had some challenges with its debt, but we identified that it had the assets that we would make this company into a tier one asset-focused organization. We minded the market that, our focus was to get it balanced. People were looking for dividends because Randgold was a big dividend player. And when you look back at 12 months, our earnings were up significantly. We brought down the net debt by nearly 50%. And so we generated a significant amount of free cash flow. It's imminently comfortable for us to pay out a bigger dividend. We think that we've achieved what we set out to achieve in 2019. And of course, the gold price was up. And I've always said, when you set out to do something and your plans are better, you deliver better on your plans that you expect, and the gold price is better, you should give something back to shareholders. And we think that this adjustment in dividend is sustainable as well, and that's important.
And just to tell viewers, since the final day of May of 2019, the dividend has gone from 4 to 5 cents and from 5 cents to 7 cents per share per quarter. I'll give the next question to Cash Bashutin.
Mark, congratulations on a great quarter and a great year over the last sort of 12 months. You've gone in and you've had a great quarter here. You've basically cut debt by 50%. The dividend is up. So to achieve those results, major change needs to take place. How did you find getting the buy-in of everyone? Because often in any industry, executives and team members avoid, they don't like change. So it's easy to look at it now and say the change worked. But how did you find going in and having to make those changes all take place over a 12-month period, impact the culture and get the buy-in?
So first of all, this was a process that took 2.5 years to get to. We worked very hard with the management teams, the combined management teams. We actually brought the management teams together in 2018, July, and said, this is what we're contemplating. How do you think we should do it? What worries you and what do you think the opportunities are? We then again met as a selected executive, 30 of the top executives in the combined companies, and in November, and we set out our roadmap. And I've always said, if you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. And the other fundamental part of business, as you rightfully point out, is people. And we've spent a lot of time on people. I've spent a lot of time working with the management teams. We've pushed everything back to the operations, given real ownership to the operations, held them accountable to their plans, and made the corporate, the center, more fit for purpose and much more involved in the everyday operations. And at the end of the day, as we pointed out in when we announced the deal, it's all about the ore bodies and optimizing them and making sure that our geologists and mineral resource managers and general managers on the mines own the ore bodies. And Barrick, with the combination of Randgold, dominates what we refer to as tier one assets in the gold mining industry today.
One of your first steps as CEO was driving the joint venture in Nevada. Barrick has been there for decades. Newmont Mining has been there for decades. The market often wondered why these companies didn't collaborate more in Nevada. That's now happening. What has been the effect of that on Barrick's results, and how far along is the integration there? It's less than a year old.
It's as you've pointed out, a lot of things have happened. in the last 12 months. Because why? Because there was a lot of easy things to do. The heavy lifting starts now. So, we've still got a lot to do. But Nevada is largely complete. The team is complete. The structure is complete. The ownership is there. And again, the alignment between Barrick and Randgold is clear. There's no one in our board, whether they're Newmont or Barrick executives, that would argue about the logic of this transaction. And at the end of the day, there's one owner. Sorry, not one owner, one operator. So there's one group of the partners that are accountable for every day. We are held accountable. We can do the jobs. There's no sort of confusion based on consensus management. And I think that's the key driver of the success to date. We've still got lots to do, but it's an enormous opportunity. And I must say, we've got great people. I just point out that in the last 13 months, we've pretty much changed every single management team in the entire legacy Barrick and of course the Newmont assets that came into the joint venture. So and that comes back to your first point. You can't, most times you can't change people. You have to people's views and behavior, but you can change the people, and that's what we've done.
Asset sales have been a big part of debt reduction. Debt has come down by, I believe, about $1 billion net debt at Barrick over the past year. Are more asset sales in the works for Barrick?
So the net debt has come down by 47%, so significantly more than that. And again, I've shared with the market from day one, I'm all about tier one assets. We've got no, what I call bleeders, no assets that are not making a contribution to the bottom line today. Are they all long-term assets that fit our tier one definition? No, they're not. But at the same time, as you would have noticed, there's been a lot of sales in the market. So we'll do this in the right and appropriate way going forward. But right now, I think the results show that our portfolio is a lot more profitable today than it was back in 1 January 2019.
A bit of news that is front and center here in Canada is blockades of rail lines in Canada. CN Rail warning that it may be impaired in its ability to deliver goods and services around the country. Barrick mines in Hemlo, Ontario, near roughly in the Thunder Bay area. Is there any implication here for Barrick and its ability to ship material in and out?
Well, I think with the way we are, I come from Africa, and we've dealt with two major Ebola pandemics in the last while. And so we're very attuned to managing the situations like we faced at the moment. We have rolled out the immediate actions, making sure we're all prepared. We've got protocols in place. And the other thing is that we also manage, I've my whole life managed logistics and supply chain and making sure we've got enough consumables to get past. And so we manage on a basis of about 1.5 months stored consumables across the Barrick Group. And once we heard this announcement, we started increasing that the amount of consumables stored on site. And again, the supply chain will continue. And so right now, I think we're in reasonable shape. This is a challenge globally, and we are not taking it lightly, and we've reacted immediately to be prepared with real experience in these sort of situations.